Check it out. That house right there was built in 1838. It's called the Oakland Manor, home of the Howard Dragoons. And here's the crazy part. 1838 that thing was built. It was owned by this rich motherfucker, George R. Gaither Jr. George R. Gaither Sr. He was a successful Baltimore merchant who was a mother effing, well, he made his money in cotton. That's all I can say. He was a cotton trader. Can you believe that? This was literally like almost 200 years ago. And this guy was living in such a stacked house. Look how big that thing is. Can you believe, what amazes me about this is that, like, even back then, people were winning harder than some of us are winning today, despite all our technological advancements. I mean, sure, we got iPhones and stuff, but look how big that house is, man. So I guess it's become like a museum now or something. But damn, that house is just insane. Here's the craziest part. So I'm looking at this, I guess you could call it one of those like museum information session things about this guy. And I mean, back then they kind of like to be tough as well. I mean, that sounds like a video game username, Howard Dragoons. So Howard is probably indicative of the county that they lived in. Dragoons, dragons, it just sounded cool. They were, so basically his son served in a local militia unit, the Mounted Infantry, and too long didn't read. They refused to swear allegiance to the US, so their whole unit, the Dragoons, ended up joining the Confederate Army and fighting. And this motherfucker, he was like insane. Like, he got to be really successful. He sailed to Europe, and then he became a cotton trader and probably made a lot of money. I think what's crazy about this, not only is the fact that they had to fucking draw, I'm sorry for cursing so much, they had to draw this guy. There weren't photos back then. And then on top of that, this guy right here was just straight up killing it even back in that age. And the whole fact that I'm standing here is shocking, because like, they used to stand here too. Like, that's the chilling thing about history. It's like, I don't think people really realize this when they're visiting museums and stuff, but like, I'm standing and walking amongst the same place as these, you know, seemingly godly individuals. Dude, that might be like the family that owns the place now or something. They look all fancy and stuff. Maybe not, I don't know. But anyhow, let's not like look too much at them. Anyhow, point being, that's what shocks me about history. Like, when you walk by the White House or some national monument, and you kind of realize that, like, we're all people. We're all people, and we're not all people. Like, some godly individuals like George Washington's and the people who were like the best in the world at what they did, they went on to, you know, walk the same places as we get to walk now. And it's almost humbling to be in their presence, and it's also humbling to kind of know that they're human too, and that maybe we can do the same things, because they were just human. They just went into the house. I don't know if they own it or what. I think they just came back from church or something. Let's get out of here. Thanks for watching.